Hello and welcome back to the channel. You find me walking through the dark streets of Glastonbury on a wet and windy night in February. And if you want to know why, keep watching. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the bit where I get confused because I've got to remember three names all at the same time. Let's see if I can get it. Leanne, Roxy and Paul.
Correct.
Wonderful. Now, Leanne, you are...
Chair of the committee here at Scouts.
Roxy.
I'm a director at Ford Haven.
And Paul.
Also director at Ford Haven.
And you're also having a haircut very soon, we found out earlier on. Right, so what it is, I've come down because you are starting you've started a fundraiser because this building is what? Tell me about this building.
Falling apart. Very old, all of the above. Basically needs some love and attention more than anything else. So it was built very, very long time ago and funds are hard to come by. Contrary perhaps to belief, although we are part of the Scout Association, we raise all the money here for ourselves, so we don't get a lot through from the top end, if you like.
So I figure the next thing is for me to go and find some of the users of this place and find out what they think about it. Let's go. So ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk to some of the users here, and that means going down in the world. So we're going to do that right now. Hang on. Hello Lexi, how are you? What are you? You're a beaver, aren't you? Really? Do you like being a beaver? And is this where you come to be a beaver every week in this hall? And what would it be like if you couldn't do that? You wouldn't like it, would you? No. So we've got to save the hall, haven't we? Yes. Well, thank you for talking. I hope you carry on being a beaver. What's next after beavers?
Cubs.
Cubs. So then you cub. Then you become a scout. Yeah, and then you go off into the mountains and go hiking and do things like that. Yeah? Cool. Lovely talking to you, Lex. Bye-bye. Bye. So, it was a lovely surprise when I got here earlier on tonight to find my friend Finley here. Now, I'm just going to come back down because everybody's shorter than me tonight. This is Finley. How you doing, buddy?
Hello, I'm good, thank you.
Now, Finley is, he watches our videos, so he knows a bit about what I do, so he's not too camera shy. So he's going to explain what it's like being a cub here. And I don't think I've ever seen anybody with quite as many badges as this man. I thought we had measles when he first walked in, but no, it's actually badges. So you can tell us all about that. So Finley, what's it like coming here to do your cubs?
Yeah, it's really fun. So every Tuesday for Cubs, you come at 7:15 and it ends at 8:15, and we do all sorts. So every day that we do it on Tuesdays, we do 10 minutes of practicing knots, reef knots, bow lines, and figure of 8. And the challenge is to do it behind your back at the end of the
That's
year.
just cruel. That's just cruel,
Yeah.
that is.
And as well we do games. It's really fun to do, and I would prefer that you all join, so we have loads of more people to do stuff with.
No, it's important. If you're going to have things to do, you have to have somewhere to do them, and that's where
Yeah.
this hall comes in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, there's some problems with the hall, and it needs some money
Yeah.
spending on it, doesn't it? Which is why I've come down tonight to talk to everybody. But what would it mean to you if you didn't have the hall anymore to come to?
We probably couldn't do it anymore, or we'll have to do it in a place where, like, outside or something, it'll probably get cancelled a lot because of the rain and stuff. And it'll be pretty sad because I've been in scouting for 5 years and I've really enjoyed it, so yeah.
Yeah, and unfortunately one of those badges isn't a badge for finding a new hall. So, ladies and gentlemen, this young lady is a cracking example of exactly what this organisation and buildings like this up and down the country are providing for the community. And that's before we even look into the community use outside of the Scouts and Cubs. Finley, it's been a pleasure talking to you, brother.
Yep.
You have a good one, and we'll
Yep.
look forward to seeing you on the video.
Yep.
Ta-da, buddy.
Bye.
So that's the reason we're doing it. The building is starting to fall apart, presumably leaking, hard to heat, expensive to run.
Well, at the moment we have no heating. The heating's broke.
You've got no heating?
We've got no heating.
So the kids are coming down here to do this stuff and they've got no heating?
We've got no heating.
Okay. So it's desperately needed?
Yeah, 100%.
So how much do we want to raise? Over to you, Roxy.
So we are trying to raise £9,000 originally. We have now been able to cut that down by about £600 because we were donated a new cooker to replace the cooker that is in here that's on its last legs. We need £8,000 exactly for the new heating system that will be installed throughout the whole building. So that won't just be focused on the hall, which is what's currently here. It will be a new system throughout. And then I ideally need about £300 for paint and materials to just give it a bit of a spruce.
So it's not a lot?
I don't think so, no.
Not a lot.
No.
So your target is £9,000?
Yes.
What I'm talking about is you're Ford Haven, aren't you? Now, you guys work with families and kids who are maybe separated and coming back together. We're going to talk about that again soon. But what's your connection with here? How does that link in?
So we set up our CIC back in October. So we're currently based in Paddington Farm in Wick, which is quite remote and you can only access it really if you can drive. So what we've recognised is we need somewhere where we can run our fundraising events that's accessible for everyone so that we can be inclusive. So this place is ideal. In return, obviously, we will raise the profile for the Scouts, which means they may get more members, but ultimately it means that this building is going to get more use for the whole community, which is the whole point. So we don't want to see it go to waste. And we feel that we've got the skills to be able to make sure that this campaign it works and that we get what we need. So if
it's a win-win for the whole community.
Exactly, that's exactly the point, isn't it? I mean, we can run events from coffee mornings right through to quiz nights, to jumble sales, to tabletop sales for different types of things and things like that. So everybody in the community can then get involved, whether you drive, walk, bike, whatever it is, you know, whereas at the moment we're a little bit more isolated. So.
And of course, with the town deal money coming here soon, this is all going to get tarted up at this end, isn't it? With
I believe so, yeah. So actually,
I understand.
So that's how we got involved. Obviously, one of our other directors, she approached the Scouts and said, was there any possibility of some kind of partnership where we could rent the building from you and use the building when you're not using it? And they were, snapped our hands off and were like, actually, do you know what? It makes sense. We're all about children and working with vulnerable children and things like that. So we can do that in both areas now.
I've just got to say, Paul normally says a lot more than this, but he's got a bit of a cough on her, so we're preserving his voice at the moment. Isn't that right, Paul?
That is. Thank you very much.
There you go, see? So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The Scout Hut, it's an essential part of the community. It binds the community together. The kids that come through here and the skills that they learn, you can't get anywhere else. The community groups that use this place, there is nowhere else for them to use. So this place is the glue that holds the community together. Now, £9,000 is not a lot of people. There are people here who are dedicated to making this place fall down. So what we want is everybody out there, if you can just think to yourself, do you know what, I live in Glastonbury, £5, I can pay that. If everybody gave £5, it'd be a long way towards your target, wouldn't you? And then of course there was the mention of paint. Now, I am sure there'll be volunteers needed because the £9,000 isn't going to cover all the work, so I guess there's going to be lots of voluntary stuff going on. So if you've got any skills that you think you could bring to this project, maybe you can't afford to give any money, but maybe you're handy with a saw or you know which end of a hammer to hit. You could come down and help, but whatever happens, we've got to keep this community asset going. Listen to the kids in there having the fun. We've got to have this building open and running, and with your help, we're going to keep that happening. So from everybody here, I'd like to say thank you, and I'd like to invite you to get in touch with me if you want, and I will pass it on to Roxy and the people down here, and I will also put up details of where you can put the money direct to and the crowdfunding after the video. So thank you for watching. Let's hope we can get this done, and I'll be back to report to tell you the good news that they've raised all the money and now we're looking for the volunteers to come down and do it. But for now, from me, goodbye, and from you guys,
Bye.
goodbye. Thank you.